Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life, the podcast. Today, this is a solo session, and I want to talk to you on the topic Old Wineskin, the challenge of renewing the mind. So, as we start off, I want to let you know that change is a fundamental part of life, yet it often evokes resistance. Nobody likes change. You ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Nobody likes change. I don't like change. We always resist it. But Jesus says in Luke 5:39, no one drinks the old wine wants the new wine. This scripture captures the human tendency to cling to the familiar and resist the unfamiliar. So, in this episode, we will explore the psychology behind our resistance to change and why it's essential to embrace it for personal growth and progress. So, what exactly does renewing the mind mean? Renewing the mind means becoming aware of the thoughts that are shaping your life and intentionally choosing new ones that align with truth, growth, and healing. But first, you got to catch the thought, and then you've got to challenge the thought, right? And then you have to replace the thought. If you're not aware, no renewing the mind is going on. You've got to be aware. So, in practical terms, okay, like I just mentioned, you catch it, you challenge it, you question them, and you replace them. Whether it's your beliefs or something about, what someone has, told you or expect of you, then you've got to challenge them. So it's about what you feed your mind daily. It is what you consistently hear, you eventually believe. Just like faith. Faith comes from hearing the word all the time. It doesn't happen one time. And the same thing as your beliefs, right? You have to be hearing them as you were growing up. And then they became cemented in your psyche and your consciousness. So, from both a faith and science perspective, we know that this works, that your brain can be rewired through repetition. So, as you practice new thoughts, right, you literally create new mental patterns. That is called neuroplasticity. You can rewire your brain regardless of how old you are. They say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can so. So, renewing your mind is not just a one time event, it's a daily decision to think differently so that you can get different results. Like I heard this quote once, if you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, you can't Photoshop the image. You've got to start working on changing you. So when you look in the mirror, you see something else. And that means daily thinking, daily thought processes, and daily instructions to renew your mind. So let's talk now about the comfort of old wine or old wine skins or doing the same thing that you've been doing every day since you were, I don't know, 20 or something. So the phrase old wine represents the comfort zone, a place where we feel secure and familiar. It's the routine habits and beliefs that we have grown accustomed to over time. And these patterns provide a sense of stability, but they can also limit your personal growth and potential. As Dr. Joe Dispenza says, neurons that fires together wires together, making us get comfortable with old wine. Yes, you don't want to move, you don't want to do anything. You know you should get out of that toxic relationship, but you stay because it brings you some level of comfort. It is someone you know, right? You don't got to go looking and trying to, get accustomed to someone new. So you stay, right? So there's other things that we resist change about. We know that that job is not working for us anymore, but we don't want to go look for another one because we get comfortable, right? We know that we should go exercise, but when we come home in the evening, we want comfort, so we choose it, right? So let's go through 4 reasons that we resist change. And the first one is fear of the unknown, which is what I was just saying about you should get out of this relationship, but you're afraid of what will happen if you leave. Are you going to find someone else? Are you going to be alone the rest of your life? So you put up and you shut up, right? And you make it work, right? So change always leads us to uncharted territory, can't say that word, triggering fear of the unknown. We worry about what might go wrong and how we will adapt to the new circumstances. It is, toxic relationships. It is going to look for a new job. It's moving to a new city. Anything that requires change. That's the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Right? Getting accustomed to your cheese being moved, right? Number 2 is loss of control. Change disrupts our sense of control over our lives because during that initial phase of the change and the transference, it is not like old wineskin. It is new wineskin. A new wineskin, you always got to break in, right? So it requires us to relinquish some degree of control, and this loss can be unsettling. Number 3, comfort and familiarity. We are creatures of habit, seeking comfort and predictability. We tend to stick with what we know because it seems safe. But there's no growth in that. There's no growth when you choose mediocrity. There's no growth when you keep yourself small because you don't want to grow and experience the disruption of your life. And number 4 is past successes. Past experiences of success with the old wine makes us resistant to try something new. We fear that the new wine will require more effort to adapt. And that is true. But if you go to the new wine and you go through the disruption and you go through all 4 of those reasons why you should change, then I promise you the outcome is going to be much better than where you were. You're going to be up here instead of down here. All right. So, again, I've been referencing this book, Who Moved My Cheese. It teaches us that synonymous growth, we must learn to embrace change. So, let's talk about embracing change. Recognizing growth opportunities. Change often brings new opportunities for learning, personal development, and for achieving the goals that you set for yourself. So, embracing change can lead to positive outcomes. It usually does. Mindset shift, right? When you change your perspective from seeing change as a threat to viewing it as a chance for growth and adaptation, you embrace the idea that change can lead to better things. And it does. What do you want to change to? Nobody wants to change from good to bad. They want to change from good to better or best, right? So you're going up. Nobody requires or proactively looks for change that's going to be worse. So yeah, change does mean that there is some growth, there's some opportunity for advancement, right? So you also need to take small steps. Gradual change can be less intimidating. Start with small adjustments and build your comfort over time. You don't start off running a marathon by saying, all right, I'm going to run 10 miles unless you've built up your lung capacity. You got to start off doing 1 mile and then 5 miles and then 10 miles. Then you keep going up, and sooner or later, you're running 26 miles. You also need to seek support. Share your fears and concerns with trusted friends or a therapist. They can offer guidance and encouragement during periods of change. Gotta have someone to talk to, right? I'm like, binging on Friends, right now. And it's so beautiful. Every single problem they have, they go talk it out. A couple episodes ago, Monica walked in and she saw Chandler pleasuring himself and she calls up Rachel. Oh my God. So, she wanted an opinion on that. She shares everything. And that's what friends do. So, yes. And what did Rachel tell her? Hey, guys do that sometimes. All right. So you focus on the benefits. Okay. I know that your mind is telling you about all these negative things, but you focus on the benefits. You focus is what you're going to gain and not what you're going to lose, right? Consider the potential benefits of change, personal growth, improved relationships, enhanced well being, and this can motivate you to move forward. So, in conclusion, while it's necessary or natural, I should say, to resist change, it's critical to recognize that growth and progress often requires stepping out of our comfort zones. The metaphor of old wine to new wine reminds us that clinging slowly to the familiar can limit our experiences and opportunities. By acknowledging our resistance, shifting our mindset, and taking gradual steps towards change, we can open ourselves up to new possibility and ultimately savor the richness of new wine in our lives. Change, when embraced, can be a catalyst for personal transformation and a joy of fulfillment. Right. Yes. Embrace new wine. That's why it's called new wine. It is good for you. The old wine skins or the old wine is old. You got to change. You got to move forward. The caterpillar needs to become the butterfly. You need to go towards the light. All these things are change. So I hope that you found some nuggets in there. You might be stuck in something right now and you're comfortable. Comfort is a bad thing. It is like you're a cat just sitting there licking cream, right? You have to get out of your comfort zone and do something that makes you uncomfortable. And that's where the growth lives. That's where personal development lives. That is where you will elevate your standard of living and you get to drink new wine in the process. All right. So listen, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Transform Your Mind podcast. Until we meet again, namaste.